Everybody wants to be rich, even in video games. But as life moves on, you have less and less time. That's why I put together this perfect minimalistic routine to allow you to enjoy the spoils of Guild Wars 2 without grinding for 12 hours a day. In fact, I can promise you 150 gold a week for basically a couple hours of time investment. The weekly choices are going to be the building block of your routine. For quick and easy money, we need to look no further than Levas and Arborstone inside the End of Dragons expansion. Once you have the globalization mastery, he will be available to sell you a total of 5 antique summoning stones per week. These are used for tier 3 legendary weapons. As you can see at the time of recording this, we're looking at between 2.7 and 2.9 gold roughly per stone, meaning buying all 5 gets you a total of 13.5 to 14.5 gold for a couple of seconds of effort if you were to sell them. I'm personally saving mine up for future legendaries. You can purchase 2 of these a week very easily with just 1 gold and 7,000 karma. But to maximize your gains, you'll need some ancient coins, imperial favor, and blue prophet shards. The amount you need are pretty low, so it's easy to work them into your rotation. The ancient coins you'll always easily have enough with just 1 daily login chest grab, which we'll talk about later in this video. Blue prophet shards are earned for doing old expansion strike missions, and you'll be earning enough for it just by doing 1 or 2 strikes, depending on which ones you choose and your luck. Imperial favor is earned from doing events in End of Dragons expansion zones and is usually the one I struggle to keep up the most. Even still, usually one meta event will give you about 100, especially if you use some of the writs that you earn to convert to favor. But even with just 2 to 4 of these stones per week, it's a worthwhile thing to plug away at for some super easy gold or steady progress towards some Gen 3 legendary weapons. The next and biggest earning thing to talk about is the weekly Wizard's Vault. The reason I bring it up is it's such a big earner, but also forms your entire routine for the week. I have a whole video going over the Wizard's Vault system from back when it came out, but just to summarize it, you're looking at 750 astral acclaim just for the weekly completion of 6 tasks, in addition to a bag of 10 laurels. Even if you were to completely be out of all the other limited time offers that give much better gold per astral acclaim, just buying the infinite bags of coins for 35 acclaim per gold would get you 21 gold per week just by doing that, with no daily, no extra weekly, or special acclaim bonuses. The first week you do this per season, you could buy the 60 mystic coins with all of that acclaim and earn yourself about 120 gold worth of mystic coins and still have plenty of acclaim left over. This stuff really doesn't take long to do either. For example, the PvE this week had completing 10 events, 5 bounty missions or group events, defeat 10 champion rank enemies, and complete the gang war of Echovald or events in Echovald that can all synergize together to complete 4 of those super easily. If you got into the gang war right away, it contains 5 group events, so you can finish most of this all in one 30-minute meta event. Usually I can finish the weekly category within 2 hours. Daily guildhall farming can complete a bunch of the gather 100 crafting resources in minutes, and then you can just finish it while you event around. The weekly jumping puzzles always have commanders parked on them to teleport to friend. You could reasonably finish the weekly 6 within like 3 hours if you're playing very relaxed or just get unlucky. 100 gold in a week is crazy good for how little overall effort this takes, but put that into perspective of 100 gold in 2 to 3 hours without any boring Reba farming or anything, I'm sold. Plus, technically buying things like the one-time legendary weapon starter packs are even more gold per hour. Those are often calculated in value over 500 gold. Outside of the typical weekly routine that actually earns me gold, a great example of a content-focused routine you could add in would be weekly rift hunting and convergences. I enjoy doing these and they get me closer to legendary armor in the future, in addition to these generally working towards some daily or weekly wizard vault objective. You can also use the essence you get and buy materials to make them into motivations to sell on the trading post or people who do dedicated rift hunting and make a profit off of that. It is pretty tedious though, so I personally still save all of mine for future legendary armor projects. These aren't required for the money calculations I've been showing off, they're in addition to it all. With my limited time, these are the only weeklies I worry about. The Cryptus rift hunting and convergences is something I try to do when I have time, but are pretty hit or miss for me. depending on what's going on with life and what video projects I'm working on. There's other great weekly things to shoot for, such as World vs. World weeklies and making sure you at least complete your wood chest each week to maximize your pips. Raid weeklies can earn you quite a bit of gold, as well as fractals and strikes. Those alternative options can be a bit more time involved, especially World vs. World, but are great to slide in after these weeklies if you enjoy the content that goes along with them. Now from our weeklies, our dailies can be built, designed to get us to any longer term weekly goals and supplement even more income. For my daily routine, I usually start with my parked alt characters. If you're unfamiliar, alt parking is when you leave an alternate character that you typically don't play logged out somewhere specific, usually where a valuable thing pops up on a daily reset. Each character you park is generally going to take an average of about 30 seconds depending on your load times. I have one character parked near a chest in Cantha to loot for daily ancient coins, so I can continue to buy those antique summoning stones each week. He's parked just under the bridge by the Jade Gate Waypoint in the Ekavald Wilds. Run in, loot the chest, run out. Real simple and easy. I have two more that are parked at chests, these being the greater arcane chests in Secrets of the Obscure Zones. One is at the Crystal Pool point of interest on the Bastion of Strength in Omnitas. This chest is always on either side of the semicircular building here. The other I park at currently is west of the Beacon of Ages waypoint on this rock formation in Skywatch Archipelago. These chests will get you 4 to 18 of their map currency, 2 pieces of gear, 2 upgrade components, some Imperial fragments, and unusual coins. The big benefit from these is definitely the map currency and coins, as both are required for the new legendary armor, reducing future grind I need to do for it. Then I have 3 characters parked at 3 different tier 3 Bioramarch chests to earn me gear, as well as the far more important Eternal Ice Shards and Itrite Ingots. The ingots are needed for Boreal Bags, which are cheaper on the Supreme Rune of Holding cost to make than other counterparts. In addition to that, you earn some gear to salvage and occasionally an Ice Golem helmet box worth 1 gold on its own. Most importantly, the Eternal Ice Shards are a great moneymaker, as you'll be able to convert these to Living World Season 4 currencies. You can choose to either buy currency to use to craft exclusive recipes and sell those created items, or what I do that's more simple is purchase any currency other than Kralkatite ore and then consume the currency to convert it to volatile magic. Then you spend that volatile magic and some gold to purchase trophy shipments from the Mistwarden Quartermaster in Dragonfall. I'm actually about to do this for the first time in a while, so let's cash this in together. I start with 32,895 volatile magic from my magic tools and other farming. We're going to just cash in the amount I earn from the Eternal Ice Shards I have to demonstrate the farm gains specifically. But if you're curious to see what cashing in all of my volatile magic looks like, stick around to the end of the video. I spent a total of 8,475 Eternal Ice Shards on this, which would be 70 days of opening only 3 large chests with tier 3 mastery, earning the bare minimum of 2 drops of 20 Eternal Ice Shards. There are other chests you can add into your rotation as well, if you'd like to put a bit more effort in. This allowed me to spend 23,250 volatile magic on shipments. I also had to front 93 gold and nearly 304,000 karma. My returns for selling it at the initial sell offer price, not the sell instant, was 212 gold. Creating a 119 gold profit. With load times, it takes me less than 2 minutes to get that Eternal Ice. So if we go with 2 minutes flat, we're looking at 2.3 hours to make a profit of 119 gold. Call it 2.5 after the time to purchase and list everything. This was technically the lazy way as well, because you can take the tier 5 materials you get out of them and Mystic Forge them into tier 6 materials and make even more money. At the end of this video, I'll compare this cash in to the bigger one, where I'll also be converting the tier 5 materials into tier 6 and comparing the income I got from them. After I'm done with my alt parking rotation, I hop on whatever class I'm playing at the moment and take care of my home instance run and guild hall gathering. Home instances can be gathered from once per day. If you're not familiar, as you continue your adventure in Tyria, you can earn upgrades to put nodes in your home instance. Some you'll get as you complete achievements, others need to be purchased in game, and others still come from the gem store. At the time of writing this, a full home instance gathering session that is fully optimized and using the Glyph of Volatility gathering tools for extra volatile magic to later convert will net you 25 gold worth of materials per day according to the fast farm approximation. That being said, a full home instance is a very significant cost investment and can take a very very long time to pay for itself. Around reset, you can always look around in the LFG or post messages to look for a full home group. Full home instances are a great way to earn charged quartz crystals and living world or seasonal event currencies year-round. After a home instance run, I usually hit up guild gathering, and I currently have 3 different guilds with different levels that I can harvest from to keep padding out my material storage over time and net some seriously fast and easy volatile magic gains. On top of the magic and materials, Guildhall gathering usually complements my weekly routine quite nicely, and even sometimes will pop a daily End of Dragons harvesting challenge, getting me even more resources. Following up my Guildhall gathering, I go pick up my Provisioner token for an Obsidian Shard in the Black Citadel from the Ash Legion Provisioner next to the DSA Gate Waypoint as I do my daily home instance in the Black Citadel. Then, depending on my supply of Ecto and Mystic Forge Stones, we'll go grab those 2 Provisioner tokens from the script by the Commodore's Quarter Waypoint in Lion's Arch. These are used for legendary runes, sigils, and armor, so I've slowly been working on them. From there, I pop over to the crafting stations to make my daily ascended crafts like Lump of Mithrilium. This way, anytime I want to do ascended or legendary crafting that might need these items, or trade in the future for more Provisioner tokens, I have plenty on deck. If you're in need of more money, these can also be converted to ascended materials to sell for profit. If you do Lump of Mithrilium, Spool of Silk Weaving Thread, and Spool of Thick Elonian Cord, these can come out to about 1.5 gold a day in profit after converting and selling. Spirit Residue is a technical loss. This is also a great time to add in any other daily crafting you want to do for profit, like heat stones, clay pots, or plant food. After everything has been crafted, it's time to hit the open world and tackle daily Wizard Vault objectives for the daily 65 acclaim and 1 gold. If we go back to that bare minimum of assuming 1 gold per 35 acclaim after running out of the better one-time purchases, that nets us another 20 gold per week. Before we total this sample routine up, let's show off that bigger volatile magic cash-in example. In the week or so it took from starting this script to when I was finishing everything up, I went from 32,895 to 35,413 volatile magic with some very casual play, which works out to be just over 2,500 volatile magic, or about 10 trophy shipments. Cashing all of this 35,250 in cost me 141 gold in upfront costs. I also used 100 tier 6 dust that I got from the shipments, plus 332 I bought, for a total of 63 gold, plus 40 I forged from my tier 5 dust. After selling all of the tier 6 materials I had by the end, I got a grand total of 413 gold, resulting in a total profit of 209 gold. If we compare this to the previously mentioned cash in from the Eternal Ice, me converting things to tier 6 materials resulted in an average profit of 1.48 gold per shipment versus the other cash in earning me 1.2 gold per shipment. So if we look at that from me just casually earning 10 trophy shipments in a week, you could tack on another average 14 gold per week just for harvesting materials with gathering tools using the Glyph of Volatility. So with just my easily trackable income and not counting that second volatile magic purge, my weekly routine sample here gets me 11.9 gold per week profit from Eternal Ice and 41 to 120 gold per week from the Wizard Vault, depending on what is available for purchase. On top of that, we've got the 14.5 gold per week for the Antique Summoning Stones, not counting the materials and volatile magic I'm earning every day from gathering that go towards legendaries, random crafting projects, or just cashing in later. Throw in the 10 laurels per week, which are another 10 gold worth of value, and you're looking at a bottom of the barrel 77 gold a week once you exhaust the high value purchases from the Wizard's Vault. This doesn't include additional weekly objectives or special objectives that you complete. It can be even higher. Add in at least 10 gold a week from harvesting with volatile magic tools, 1.5 gold per day from ecto crafting, and we're already at 97 gold per week, playing very casually. And that's without including everything from my routine I showed you either. I'm not counting home instance gathering in that calculation, since I have a very low value one aside from the crate obelisk I use in converting charged quartz crystals. You could also make more on Eternal Ice by opening a few more chests, or go find another 2 guilds with the missing harvesting levels. The chest openings also get you rare items to sell or salvage from ectoplasm, and you can add more alts to park on those, or just walk around quick and pick some of them up. The Jade runestones from the Cantha chest alone is another half gold to a gold per day. The point is that even with all of this suboptimal stuff, just look at how easy it is to make money and progress with a fast routine. That's why I wanted to make this video. I spent ages being permanently broke, having less than 50 gold at all times and no materials because I felt like the only way to get ahead in an MMO was grind, and I never have enough time to want to waste it grinding. When in reality, you can gain a lot with very little time. The Wizard's Vault definitely helped a lot of that too. On top of this sample routine, there's tons of high value daily events you can do, like gambling your time on Chalk Garant, Octovine, or Choya Pinata for a chance at really valuable infusions. Dragonstorm or Tequatl give you straight money, and there's plenty more things you can add in out there. Honestly, making this video has reminded me that I really need to get back to doing my own routine because I've been really bad ever since Dragon's Dogma 2 came out, and I'm running low on funds from my recent challenge videos. This Willbender for a month challenge video cost me a bunch of gold from being ill-prepared and rushing it, but I had a great time playing a new class instead of my usual warrior main. You should definitely learn from my mistakes about gearing up a new character so you can save this easily earned gold you're about to make.